So there's a lot of new people learning about No Man's Sky every single day. And for those people, what do you do in No Man's Sky? Here on Cobra TV. So this video is going to be aimed at people who are just learning about No Man's Sky, or maybe somebody that you want to send this video to help them better understand No Man's Sky. I read a lot of questions about this game, and when I talk to people in real life, I get the same responses. Some of those responses are, the game's too big, or the graphics don't look so great, and I don't understand what I'm supposed to do in the game. Just fly around and mine resources? And is there a story to the game? Well, today we're going to tackle some of those questions and give a little bit more insight to what you actually do in this game. But the real answer behind that last one is anything you want. But let's get to the it's too big. No Man's Sky is it's a backdrop for your own personal story. There is a kind of a story to the game and an end goal for those who want that. We'll get to that a little bit more later, but the fact that the game is so big is wonderful indeed, because no matter what story that your journey will have, you just don't know where you're going to end up. In a sandbox game, a traditional sandbox game, you can kind of figure where you're going to end up. In a game that's not sandbox and it's just strictly, it's a straight path. You have to go this way, you have to go that way. You kind of know where you're going to end up. You don't have a choice. But in No Man's Sky, you could go up, down, left, right, diagonal, and head towards this star and this solar system. And you just don't know where your story is going to take you. You don't know where you're going to end up. And that to me is one of the realistic things that you could possibly ask for in a game, because that's how life is. You just don't know where you're going to end up. Now, speaking on the graphics, I don't know what people are actually looking at when they're saying that No Man's Sky has bad graphics. Maybe they're talking about the Orion 5 planet, where the color schemes are a little bit different than what gamers are used to seeing. So maybe the colors are throwing them off, because if you look at the trading center trailer, those ships coming into the trading station, the planet, the trade station itself is just beautiful. And one of the things you have to remember when you're watching the trailers for No Man's Sky is that you're seeing a game that's not finished. You're seeing a game that's pre-alpha. It's not even a done game. They're making trailers of a unfinished game. So we all really don't know what the final product of this game is going to look like. But the graphics that I've seen just blow my mind away. And yes, a lot of people out there say that it's popping. It's because of the PS4. It's just popping. They're not done. They know that it's popping and fading and too quickly. And they're working on that. Another response that I get is it's a game about exploration. Yes, you are right. It is a game about exploration, but that's just one of the very many things that you could do in No Man's Sky. If you do not want to explore, you don't have to. You can stay on a planet for as long as you like. You could do whatever you like on that planet if that's the kind of gaming that you're into. And don't let anybody ever tell you that it's not that kind of game, because No Man's Sky is designed to let you play how you like. Do whatever you want. Although Sean Murray has said that the core of the game is to explore and to go to the center of the galaxy, the first galaxy that we start in, because there will be more than one galaxy. But he's also said that person who wants to stay on the planet and never leave, or stay in a trading route and never leave, he said that he feels like he kind of failed if somebody does that and just ignore the rest of the universe that he created. But he said it's also great if somebody does that. That the flip side of that is they created something so good that they just don't want to leave. There are so many things about No Man's Sky that we do not know. Some of those things are things that we can actually do in No Man's Sky. When you go all the way back to the GameSpot interview a long time ago, Sean Murray even mentioned Bounty Hunter. Now, he's never talked about it ever since then, but there's a lot that Sean Murray just does not talk about. And, what you could do in No Man's Sky is endless. You can stay on the planet, You can be one of those people who just mine and trade, and that's not going to be simple for you. The more you mine, the more you're going to get these 2 to 3 story tall mechanical robots, that have these like cyclop looking eyes, and they're going to attack you. They're going to attack you for trying to take too many resources or blowing up the planet too much. And it's not just those 2-legged, 2 or 3 story tall robots. There's even 4-legged ones, and we don't know what the size of those are. They could be super tall, or they could be as, kind of like the size of a lion. We don't know. But you can mine and trade and get as rich as possible. Just keep getting units and units if that's what you like to do. But like I said, it's not going to be easy for you to do that. If you want to be a pirate and constantly attack other ships that are trying to mine for resources, you could do that. But that's not going to be easy either. You're going to be attacked by the Galactic Police. You're going to be attacked by factions, that do not like you. It's not going to be easy to do anything in this game. It's not just a passive go around, look at trees and look at pretty life. And it's not just that. It's not that ambient. Although some places are like that. Some places you are free from danger, but not all the time. If you want to make this game a quest to find a friend that, is a good enough friend for you to be able to communicate with and organize to meet up with each other, you could do that too. No Man's Sky could essentially be a hide and seek game, but there is a story to the game. There's a lore to the game. You could find artifacts that will help you understand the secrets of the universe. You could go to the center of the galaxy, which Sean Murray has stated is like an end goal to the people who like that sort of thing, the people who like to play a game and have an ending. And he said that the center of the galaxy will bring closure to you, and you would be able to put the pad down, the game pad, the controller, and you'd be able to feel like, bam, I did it. But then he said there's going to be a reason that will entice you to keep playing on. So for gamers out there that like a story, a reason to play, this is in here. This is in No Man's Sky. You have that option. You also have the option to ignore that goal. You don't have to do it. So there will be a reason for you to play this game. And to other players, there's going to be a reason to play it in a different way. They're going to want to make their own story, role play, and do whatever they want. The fact that this game has so much freedom for end game goal people, for people that just want to get in there and create their own story and go wherever they want, for people that want to be a bad guy and constantly attack people, and you will be remembered. You will be attacked. It's not an easy game. This game can actually be extremely violent. When you're on the planets, you're not on top of the food chain. There are things that will attack you. They will kill you. The animals, you're going to witness them killing and eating each other. And there has been mention from Sean Murray that there's even carnivorous plants that could also eat you. Every step you take could be dangerous. You might even land on a planet that your ship cannot even take. It might tell you that the atmospheric gases or acids or whatever are destroying your ship and you'd have to leave. You might want to come back to that planet later after you bought a better ship or upgraded your suit a little bit better. You can go into the water with your suit, but not your ship. But in order for you to go deeper and stay in the water longer, or stay in something that's not water, but could be something like acid, who knows, ammonia, you'd have to upgrade your suit. But there's so much to do in No Man's Sky that I could sit here and talk for 24 hours straight and not run out of things to say about what you can do in this game, or what what you could come up with that you could do in this game. Comment down below and tell me what you would do in No Man's Sky. Besides going to the center of the galaxy, what kind of crazy, wild, cool, awesome things do you plan on doing in this game that the freedom of this game will allow you to do? And like I said, don't let anybody ever tell you it's not that kind of game, because it is for you. I'm going to put at the end of this video some of the confirmed features about No Man's Sky. It is not all of them. But like I said, this is just so that new people who are just learning about this game can learn even more. If you're someone that's new and you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. I upload constantly and we talk about No Man's Sky a lot. If you want to come on the show, add me on Skype and we can make that happen. You guys know that I love you. I love you so much. Thank you for coming over here, watching this video, and share it up. Let people know about No Man's Sky. For those of you that know my channel through and through, you've already seen what I'm getting ready to play. With that said, until next time. Almost everything is procedurally generated. The ships, plants, animals, etc., meaning there are going to be a very large number of variations of those things. All of the variations will come from a base model, and there will more than likely be a lot of base models in each category. No saved games. The game will be saved all the time as you go along, but you can't save and load the games. If you die, then you have to rebuild from where you are in the universe. You'll never have to go back to the start and try again. Now that's kind of cool. I mean, it's not a game that has levels or anything like that. So, I mean, if you pretty much get shot down, and you've been traveling for 4 or 5 months, you're just there. You start in your life pod ship and you have to go buy another ship. Let's say you already have the money. The units is what they're calling it, and then you could just go to the space station and purchase another ship. But if you're not so lucky to have a large bank account of units, then you're going to have to go down to one of the planets and start mining all over again to get the money to buy another ship.
Yep.
And I think that's a perfect way to do it. There's consequence, and that's what games are lacking nowadays, is major consequence in dying.
Yeah, but then again, it's not too much, as they said, because you don't completely restart from the outside edge of the galaxy.
Right, yeah, and you do not lose your upgrades to your suit and to your multi-tool either. All that is, you keep all of that. You also keep your bank account too. But any resources that your ship was carrying is gone. The game uses an alternative periodic table to help create environmental diversity. There will be a narrative with a reason for the player's presence and their activities and details of various races that preceded you. You won't be told the narrative. It's up to you to explore and piece it all together and come up with your own interpretations. Now, I like this. Sean Murray has said that you could make this a walking simulator if you want. You could walk around a planet just to see how long it would take you, or you could explore a planet, or you could just be centered around mining and selling and getting rich, or combat driven. What do you think? I mean, this is like the perfect game. It gives you freedom of choice.
Right, because there's no set way that you actually have to play the game. Exactly. Like most games, you're on this set path of, okay, go do this.
Right. And the Atlas will be playing an important part of that lore, to that story, that sort of a narrative that we're not going to be exactly told, hey, you need to go here and do this. I think it's going to be told through like hints.
Yeah.
There will be an antagonist of sorts, the Malevolent Force. Now, with the new information that we've gotten out of December, Bookshelf Gaming, we've learned that Malevolent Force is not so malevolent. It's a guardian robot that tries to keep a balance of the universe.
Indeed.
Don't expect cutscenes or dialogues or much text within the game, so none of that is going to help you learn the story or the lore or drive you towards the center of the game. It's not going to be story driven in that aspect.
Yeah, that ties into the freedom of choice part.
Right. And I'm just so excited to learn how that story is going to be told to us, how they're going to be able to, I don't know, like herd us to the center if that's what we want to do. Like how's that story going to be told? It's very intriguing.
In a way, I think you're going to be the one telling the story.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. The player is the storyteller.
Right.
They also mentioned that more extensive terrain deformation and ground vehicles and more traditional multiplayer to come later. Now, all three of those things are amazing. More extensive terrain deformation, ground vehicles, and a more traditional multiplayer will come later. It's very interesting. 2015 has been confirmed as the release date for No Man's Sky. That's Game Informer. That was reported in Game Informer in 2015, and there's a lot of hinting around the internet that this could be June. And if it is, that is very good news. There will be a wildly abstract intro sequence inspired by the ending of the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey, and that was also reported in the Game Informer for the January edition. Okay, so as far as gameplay, you could be affiliated with different factions. However, you will never have indications that you are affiliated with that faction. It'll be simply that if you destroy ships of one faction, then it won't like you, or you could help it and it will. If you have a good status in affiliation, then you will be able to call on AI wingmen.
I think I'm gonna definitely try to team up with some of these factions.
Almost certainly.
Right, that sounds awesome. Have some wingmen right by your side.
I can imagine with as dangerous as this universe is, that we're going to need all the help we can get. The alternative periodic table ties directly into the game's use of resources which are used to improve your avatar's suit and your weapon. There won't be any quests or missions to go on. It'll be up to you to decide what you want to do. The hope is that your natural curiosity and the richness of the worlds presented will be enough to keep you interested. I don't know about you, Bookshelf Gaming, but I think that even if I want to go to the center, and they say it takes a minimum of 40 to 100 hours, it's going to take me much longer because I'm going to get sidetracked.
Yeah, definitely. Like between trying to team up with you and just exploring in general, it's going to take me much longer than that.
Exactly. I mean, just imagine you getting to some big war with the Guardian robots, and then you get shot down. They kill you, they destroy your ship, and then you got to rebuild and get money, get a new ship, and who knows how long that can take you.
Right, or you just find a planet that you really, really like and you want to stay there for a while and, kind of walk around and explore it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how many people can actually get there within 40 to 100 hours. I just don't think people are going to be able to not get sidetracked or have their plans foiled by, getting destroyed by something.
Yeah, because if you're just in that little crappy ship from the outer ring of the galaxy, and then you go in, you're gonna get owned the second that you go into a new difficulty range.
Right. And according to the Edge magazine, fun is being put above scientific accuracy, meaning flying between planets won't be as long and monotonous as it would be in real life, and neither will flying out and into the atmosphere. There is an in-game encyclopedia where you can view all of the rare creatures you've scanned once you upload it. That is really cool. I could just see people where that's how they play the game. They just go around and collect species that they've discovered in plants and trees and types of water and stuff like that. I could just see people making that their hobby in No Man's Sky.
Right, kind of like if you ever watched Pokemon. They discover a new Pokemon and they scan it, and then it's in their little Pokedex thing.
Right.
And yeah, I feel like that's kind of what it would be like, and that would be pretty cool.
That would be really cool. It's basically up to you how to play. The universe is a living, breathing place that just works. Shipping lanes, trade routes, freighters, space stations, planets have ecologies, there's the Guardian robots, there's all the activities that you could do. There's something in No Man's Sky for every type of gamer out there. And that is just so interesting. I just can't imagine what the YouTube channels are going to look like when people are uploading what they're doing in No Man's Sky, and it's not going to be the same anywhere.
Right. And I feel like after this game does come out, it's just going to blow up.
It is.
It's going to get more publicity than it ever has.
I think it may have a chance to outsell Grand Theft Auto 5.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And that's without the pre-order too.
Right.
I like this next one where it says, this isn't a game about staying on one planet and setting up shop. This isn't core to the game. You can stay on one planet if you want to. It's up to you though. So it's up to you how you play. Even if you go against the grain on how he wants you to play, he's still giving you the freedom to do what you want to do. And that's amazing. There is going to be a compelling reason to head towards the center of the galaxy, as well as an ending that will provide you with a sense of closure, but there's a reason to continue playing after that. The sense of closure is going to be able to make you be able to put down the gaming pad and say, bam, I beat it. But then you're going to want to pick it back up and keep on playing. So all of the people out there that like the single player campaign modes or whatever, this is sort of for you. This is sort of for something that is going to fill the void of, doing a whole storyline and getting to an end of the game. There will be ancient artifacts for you to find, which could reveal the secrets of the universe. So I wonder if those ancient artifacts are going to be the lore, the way to make us go towards the center of the universe.
Right.
Those ancient artifacts are going to tell us the story, without the narrative, without the cutscenes. It'll be told through those.
Yeah, that's kind of why I said in the first place that we're all going to have our own story to tell to ourselves.
Right. You can see your friend's location and stats on the galaxy map, and an in-game messaging system has been teased. If you fly past another player, you might not even know it's a real person. That was reported in the Game Informer this for the January edition. And of course, if a lot of us are pretty much a veteran gamer, we played a lot of games in general, even if it's a single player game, you're going to know if it's an online player just because of the way he's moving. So
right. I
don't think that's an issue, but someone might be really good at making themselves look like AI themselves.
Yeah.
They might see.
If I fly past someone and I can tell that they're a real person and they're in an attack ship, I'm just gonna try to, wiggle by because I don't want to die.
Yeah, you might land on a planet. He's sitting there just killing all kinds of the wildlife, just shooting and killing them. Then all of a sudden you just hurry up and just fly super straight like you're just an AI.
Yep.
However, if you do see another player, it will be the first time you realize what your character actually looks like, but you'll still just see the suit, not what's inside. So we won't know what we are, and we're not all going to look exactly alike. Sean did hint that there was a kind of player customization, and that boils down to the upgrades to your suit.
Yeah.
Now, I might upgrade my suit to a different way than you do, so we'll look just slightly different, not entirely different.
Now, the comment about the fact that we won't know what's inside the suit,
right?
It intrigues me because that kind of makes it sound like we will at some point. Because wouldn't that make sense that we would somehow be able to at least see what is inside that suit?
Yeah, that does make sense. I mean, maybe that's part of the lore. Maybe that's something that they got. I think that even a lot of the questions that Sean Murray answers no to, I think that just boils down to him not wanting to give too much away. He wants us to be surprised. Money is called units in No Man's Sky and can be earned from almost anything you do. Blowing up ships, gathering and selling resources, discovering things will even get you money. And that was reported in the Game Informer. You will gather resources with the mining laser and grenades. So we can use grenades to blow stuff up to get to resources that are hard to get to. And can only see resources in a special scanning mode with your multi-tool.
Now, I like that. Because if the resources were just kind of there on the ground as a texture and, kind of sticking out a little bit, or even just like spikes coming up out of the ground, I don't feel like that would be very pleasing to the eye. But then you go into scanning mode and, they're just kind of there now.
Right. Yeah. I like that. It's almost, like hunting, you really have to work hard to find them.
Right. You actually have to scan for the resources.
Yeah, that's awesome. You can attack the space stations, but you cannot destroy it entirely. But when you're attacking it, you can bring down the ranking of that space station, and then pretty much downgrading the type of things that you can get from there. If you start attacking other ships, then the station in that system will release the Galactic Police Force on you, which will remember you and more likely attack you unprovoked in the future. The same goes with the various factions, which respond based on how you treat them. So it looks like we can have a sort of a reputation, with the Galactic Police Force and the AI that's out there flying around.
Yeah. Now I kind of wonder if that Galactic Police Force is the little drones that we've been seeing everywhere, because we've seen them flying around space stations and trading posts.
Very interesting. Well, yeah, there hasn't been too much talked about the drones yet.
Yeah, but we have seen a short video clip of one being attacked.
Right, yeah, he was attacking one of them.
So that's what kind of led me to think so.
Yeah. As said before, the upgrades to your suit and weapon don't vanish on death, so you keep them no matter what. When choosing your spaceship, you have different things that you can look at as far as the stats of a spaceship, and some of those things are the shields, the type of shields, the laser beam, plasma shot, the rapid fire shot, energy torpedo, the wing affects your maneuverability, hull separates stats to allow landing in toxic, corrosive, and radioactive environments, engine general speed, hyperdrive, hyperspace jump distance, cargo space split between cargo and hyperdrive fuel, and cloaking. So your hull, you're using the hull for your hyperdrive fuel and your cargo. So there's a lot of deciding, okay, do I need this much hyperdrive because I would like to carry that resource? There's going to be some decision making there, drop or keep.
Right.
And I do like the cloaking thing too.
Yeah, me too. Because you can kind of just creep by the little or even just like an easier way to escape the police force. Just kind of go behind a rock or something and then cloak and then fly away.
Right. And some of the upgrades that we could do with our suit include shields, resource capacity, which means, I guess, how much you can carry while you're on foot, the jetpack, the height and hang time, air hazard, separate stat for toxic, corrosive, and radioactive environments, again, but for your suit, liquid hazard, length of time submerged in water, acid, and alcohol. As far as your weapon, we have upgrades that are laser beam, plasma grenade, energy shot, scan distance, scan type. Certain things cannot be scanned until this is upgraded. What do you think about all that? That's awesome.
That is awesome, because that gives you a little bit more, it starts you off at a more difficult level, and then you actually have something to work forward to.
Right. A lot of choices, it seems like there. And that's probably not even all of them either. I'm sure there's always going to be a decision we're going to have to make to where maybe you upgraded the wrong way and you're going to have to go buy something different.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be a downgrade. It would just be a different upgrade.
Yeah.
As far as the multiplayer is concerned, we do know that we can get to our friends. We do know that it's a hard thing to do, but Sean Murray said we can, and that you carry around a 3-person lobby. That number could be a little bit more than 3, or, he said a few, so a few is normally a 3. But the cool thing, and one of the Game Informer interviews that was just released, Sean was asked about the center of the galaxy, and he was asked a really specific question. Sean says, without him wanting to say too much, will we want our friends there in the center of the galaxy? And he replies, yes. So that is intriguing information. It makes you wonder if the center of the galaxy is a meeting hub, or if it's a black hole that will lead you into a different galaxy, and you're going to want your friends there, maybe because you don't want to leave them behind. So,
right.
Who knows? I mean, the cool thing about No Man's Sky is we just don't know until we play it.
Yeah, I really like that, and we're going to have to figure out most of the stuff about the game once we actually get in.
Right. Okay, now we move on to the ships section. You start with a life pod ship without any hyperdrive, so you'll have to get money to buy a better ship before really beginning to explore the galaxy. So we're going to be able to go out of the planet, but we're not going to be able to leave that solar system because there won't be a hyperdrive yet. We're going to get better ships the deeper we go, and if we're seeing those cool ships right now, you know darn well he's not showing us the really cool ones.
Right.
He's keeping that hidden, just like all the weird alien wildlife he's keeping hidden.
Right, and have you noticed that it's been getting more weird as we've been going on in time?
Yeah. So let's see. You could buy ships that are docked at the space stations. Now that's pretty cool. So all those ships that we seen that were coming into that space station or trade station, those are ships that you can buy. Those are all for us. And just a couple months ago, we were trying to debate if those ships that we seen from when Hazel McKendrick did that presentation and she showed those new spaceships, we were all debating if those were for us or not. And we were right, they are. But the ships, the classes have not changed as of yet. There's still the fighter, trader, and explorer, and each class has multiple prototypes. Fighters are light and symmetrical. Trader craft tend to be bulkier and slower, but with heavier weapons. And explorer ships will have a much better hyperdrive and stealth capabilities, allowing pacifists to run from every fight. So I think I want to be a fighter, and I want to have a big ship, but I also want that better hyperdrive. So I have no idea what kind of ship I'm going to get.
You'll have to find like a balance in there.
Yeah, I like the fact that the explorer ships are going to have better hyperdrives.
Yeah, they're all going to have their ups and downs to them.
Right, yep, it'd be a definite decision. They are not defined in the game as a specific class, so it's not going to say it's a trader or a fighter or an explorer, but it should be obvious by the visible hints what kind of craft it is designed for.
Right.
We can already see some of those. I mean, we could definitely tell that those ships that we see at that trade station are definitely trader ships.
Yeah, definitely some sort of cargo ship.
A certain type of ship does not restrict you to a certain path, but there are, of course, some ships more suited for certain tasks than others. But you'll always be able to change to a different type of ship. All you got to do is just decide to buy a different one.
Yep, and that's another thing that ties into your reputation too.
Right.
You can build up a reputation as a fighter or a trader, you know.
Most definitely. I wonder if you change your ship, if you're being wanted by the Galactic Police Force, I wonder if you change to a trader ship, if they still know it's you.
Ooh, that's a good thought.
Right. After a while, the wear and tear on your craft is clearly visible, helping you to form an emotional attachment to your beaten up old ships. I love that part.
Me too, that is wonderful.
That's my favorite part about watching the old Star Wars movies.
I was about to say with the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
Like at the beginning it's all nice and pretty, and then by the end of the series of movies where the Millennium Falcon is there, you can just tell that it's been used for years and it has some wear and tear on it.
Yeah. The landing will be simple and straightforward. So I'm thinking that maybe you could slow down and hover, but you press an X or whatever button and then it just goes down immediately. The space combat in No Man's Sky is going to be arcadey, and what he means by that is it's not going to be like a sim like Elite Dangerous is, which is a great game. I mean, I love the fact that Elite Dangerous has a big learning curve on doing dogfights and combat in that game, but No Man's Sky is going to be more on the side of it's going to be pretty easy to fly. It's going to be pretty easy to shoot. It's not going to have a huge learning curve.
Now, I really like the fact that it's going to be easy to fly, because I know I've tried to play like space exploration games in the past, and you try to fly up on something and you're going too fast, you're not slowing down anytime soon.
Right.
And you're just going to fly straight past it.
Yeah. Better ships are going to be found the further you go into the galaxy, as we have mentioned just a few minutes ago. Fuel will be really expensive and is used to travel from one solar system to the next, as in a hyperjump. A quick and cheap way for you to get fuel is to go down to a planet and do some mining, but you can also make money other ways and use that to buy fuel. In ship combat, different weapons have different specialties. Now I love this part. Lasers specialize in melting shields, while plasma projectiles do heavy damage to ship hulls. Torpedoes pack a punch, but they're not as fast as the others. So if you fire a torpedo, I imagine that you're going to have to use like a predictive aiming, to where if you think they're going to bank left, you shoot towards the left of them and hope that that it hits them eventually.
Right.
Which is sort of kind of how it was in Grand Theft Auto 4. You know, if you're going to use your missiles, you had to predictively aim them. There's no ammo to worry about, but you do need to keep an eye on your cooldowns. So that's really cool too. You know, that's another thing that was cool about Grand Theft Auto 4 with the helicopters. They never ran out of any ammo. So it's cool in No Man's Sky that we don't have to worry about that.
Right.
And speaking of like spawning, respawning, if you die in a ship, you basically just lose the ship and cargo that you were carrying, and you have to save up for a new one before you can leave that current system. But you don't lose money or upgrades, so you'll just end up in a basic life pod and have to go to the nearby space station to buy another ship, or planet to get more resources, to get more money to get another ship. So if you lose your ship in the center of the galaxy, you can still bounce back from that. It'll just take some time.
Right, especially since near the center of the galaxy, the space stations are higher ranked, which means that you can buy better stuff there. So you can just buy maybe even a better ship than the one that you just crashed.
Right, exactly right. But then you got that emotional attachment that you're going to be losing.
Yeah.
Now, when we start the game, not all players are going to start on equal terms. Some starting planets will be harsh for some, and others will have rare resources. And some people might have an easy time when they start. It's going to be real lovely and, you know, real peaceful, while you start up the game and you're probably going to be running from danger every 5 seconds. So that
I really like that,
I do too.
because I can just imagine us in a party together on PS4, and then we both start up the game, and then you're kind of in like a nice little safe environment. Then I'm on this planet surrounded by evil dinosaurs who want to rip my head off.
Yeah. I'm sitting there saying, oh, you should see this beautiful sunset. And you're like, oh my God, I gotta run.
Yeah. I don't have time for that.
Yeah. Your first point of interest on your starting planet will be your ship. So that's pretty cool. It'll just be like you start up and then you'll see the point of interest. It's probably going to be rather close, and you get in your ship and just start flying around. That'd be cool. That'd be a great moment.
That'll be a great moment.
The galaxy map has several zoom levels. The most zoomed out one is the view of the entire galaxy with an imposing black hole in the center. A small dot shows your location. Now, the Game Informer says that there's an imposing black hole in the center of the galaxy.
I was just gonna say, they literally just said that there's a black hole in the center of the galaxy.
Yeah, Game Informer said that in the beginning of the January issue, okay? But at the end of that entire issue, Sean was asked what's at the center of the galaxy, and he says that he does not want to say. He wants us to find that out for himself. And that's just another one of the problems that I had with the Game Informer January issue. The next zoom level allows you to freely swoop through the stars, where you can scan stars to get more information about them. For example, how many planets each star has, or any special properties like extra resources. If online, you'll learn additional things like if it's been discovered and what class of space station is there. The next one allows you to examine the planets individually. If one player has already explored that planet, you'll get the detailed rundown of its points of interest. If not, then it's up to you to go there to explore them.
I really wish that they would have shown us the entire galaxy view, because that would be something special. The star map.
Oh, and you mean in the trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been really cool. I almost want to say the Game Informer accidentally leaked what was in the center.
I know, which is kind of...
And that's why he didn't want to show us, because we would see it and we'd know. When you pull up the galaxy map, you're free to explore beyond your ship's capabilities. If you zoom all the way out, you will notice something interesting in the center of the galaxy. That, ladies and gentlemen, is your goal. The game won't explicitly state this to the player. You don't come upon mission logs or distress beacons that guide you to that direction. Instead, players will start to figure out that working your way from the outside in increases your chance of finding better resources. And it's hard not to notice that strange, fiery looking object in the middle of the galaxy. It's up to players to find out for themselves what that is. The current estimate to get to the center is 40 to 100 hours, the minimum being for people who go straight for it, fast and efficiently as possible. Hello Games can adjust this before release though. Regarding what's at the center of the galaxy, this will be kept a secret. It'll be a nice moment for people, and Hello Games are hoping people won't want to share what they see. Right.
I'm gonna want to share what I see, but I'm gonna try not to, so I don't spoil it for other people.
Yeah. Trading posts are dotted around the planets, and there's more than one type. Some might buy up resources, some might be specialized for specific upgrades to your suit and weapon, and not every store stocks the same inventory. Shops have ratings that determine the general quality of goods that they sell. So that's pretty cool. And as far as the shops go and the trade stations, we do know that there are no NPCs, like no NPC characters. So how is trading going to work? I believe that when you walk up to it, you're going to be using a kiosk to buy your certain items. What do you think, Bookshelf?
Yeah, we've seen in this screenshot, there is like a little kind of floating orange cube there, and I believe that if you walk up to that, then you can kind of trade with the trading kiosk.
I agree with you. If you see a ship you like, for example, at a trading post or a space station, you can buy it. You don't get any reward for killing creatures, so there's no incentive to wipe out every living thing you see. You can if you want to. If you're that kind of person, you can murder everything in sight.
I don't respect you if you are.
No, I'm not going to. But I'm sure at some point in time we're going to have to be killing herds of something that won't leave us alone.
Right.
There's going to be portals to different random planets closer to the center of the galaxy. And they are in these rare alien temples, or like rare alien monoliths or whatever that you can discover. Each portal requires a different weapon or combination of weapons to open it. You can't take your ship with you, so you need to gather what you can on the other side and go back through the portal to get back to your ship. The general shape of space stations indicate the quality of items within, and multiple docking bays mean there will always be an open parking spot. If you land in the docking bays in a space station, you can get out and browse tradable cargo or stroll down the line of ships to check out the stats and prices. In the trailer, when he's walking towards his ship, I wonder if directly right behind him is a lot more of the space station that we didn't get shown.
Yeah, because as you can see, those things are massive.
Yeah,
and there's got to be more than just the docking bays and a little trade station.
Right, and he just got done doing something. He earned like 7.6 Heridium.
Right.
So he did something, but right before they started recording, or right before they started showing us. So I think there's a lot to the space stations that we do not know about.
Right.
What you can buy depends on who is there. Could see a ship you like and want to buy it, and then it just flies off before you get a chance. It also mentions in the Game Informer that you can hunt it down. So I guess hunting it down doesn't mean shooting it down and taking it. You probably just follow it until it lands at another trade station, and then you just buy it there.
Right. And you're just kind of waiting for one to fly in that you like. You might not even have time to look at the stats on it.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty challenging, huh?
Yeah.
Some space stations look like the Death Star or the Borg Cube. That is amazing. I mean, both of those, in Star Wars, the Death Star is just freaking awesome. And in Star Trek, the Borg is my favorite antagonist, I guess you could say. It's my favorite alien race. You can't even call it an alien race. It's just, they're my favorite. The Borg is my favorite. And I would love to see a space station look just like that. I think I would just scream like a little girl. These space stations can be attacked, but they cannot be destroyed, as we mentioned earlier, because there has to be a space station in every system, but you can damage them to lower their rating. There's no reward for doing so, but you can be rewarded for attacking the police that it sends out to attack you. So it does it will reward you for bad behavior.
Yeah.
As far as where we got all this information, it's just from following the game since 2013, and it's also a lot of this was read off of the Reddit confirmed information list that's constantly being updated, but it's not being tended to every detail. Some of the stuff it needs to be eliminated from the list. Like there's even one part on there where it talks about upgrading your ship, which we know is not a thing anymore. You cannot upgrade it. You just have to buy a new one. But the link is there. And you could go over it and look over some of the things that I did not mention. And, there's a reason why I didn't mention certain things in this podcast. I would like to reach out to every one of you guys a lot more. So all of my social links are going to be below, and Bookshelf Gaming's YouTube channel is below too. So add me on Twitter, add me on Facebook, add me on Skype. I love reaching out to all of you guys and talking to you as much as I possibly can. So make sure you hit me up on all of those social networks, and join the Facebook No Man's Sky group. Well, we've grown pretty big in just 2 months. We're almost up to 600 members on there. So come and join in on the chat. There has not been any fighting yet, so that's really awesome.
Right.
It's a very comfortable Facebook group, the most comfortable one that I've ever been involved in.
Yep.
Until next time.